Hi guys, welcome to another Bedroom Guru. Weird one, isn't it? Because I've just done one about an hour ago, but I'm going away, so I thought I'd get this in here today before I go on my merriment of holidays and wonderfulness. So welcome to new subscribers, I always say. This one's an interesting one, and it's been rocking my world for the last week. If I say to you the word change, what does that instill in you? It is one short word that can bring about so many different emotions: fear, excitement, worry, anxiety, relief. All different types of emotions that connect with it. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I've been in 3 separate conversations the last week about people that are so fearful of changing their lives. So fearful of change, it's ridiculous. And I've had quite a few emails as well in the same subject. It's really weird how it happens, that I don't know if I draw the energy in or it just suddenly has this surge of it. I don't know if it's because the Pisces moon is tomorrow that all these people are being faced with these difficulties or these decisions or this change making, but it's come about. And I remember last night, it was really funny actually, because I always look for signs and synchronicities about what to address with you, what would inspire you, what would help you. And I was watching Fleabag. If any of you watch that, it has got to be one of the best series ever going. And I was thinking about all of these people that have been asking my advice about change and things like that. And then I watched this episode of Fleabag, and it's basically, no spoilers I don't think, but basically there's this woman who's not happy with her husband, and she's got an offer to go to Finland, and she kind of doesn't want to do it because it's going to bring about so much change. I thought, you know what, I just watched the episode, I thought, I can't believe that is all about that today. So I thought that is my sign to obviously bring this up and talk about it. We have a lifetime of experiences that we've signed up for when we come down here, okay? And sometimes when before we even come down here, we kind of decide at some point to add more enrichment to our lives, to put ourselves in a position where we need to make life-changing scenarios. We need to change something that isn't right in our lives. It can be for the better, it can be for the worse, whatever it is. Everybody fears it. Everybody allows everything to implode inside them when they know that change needs to be made. And there's a particular example, I'm not obviously going to expose who they are, but a lady who has just met a man, but she's got a daughter who's still got a few issues over her dad, and the divorce that took place. But it was quite a long time ago, to be honest with you. And this lady is deciding whether to date this man or not, but she's worried that it might upset her daughter. So she's pulling herself back from changing her life. This man has offered her so much and, really wants to kind of get involved with her. And she's holding back because she's worried how her daughter feels. So she's basically stopping changing her life for someone else. Now, I can understand that to a certain extent. A lot of us are caretakers, a lot of us are empaths, a lot of us do feel and think about the people around us. And she said to me, like, what do I do? And I was like, well, do you know what? There's 2 types of people. There are the yeah but people, and I've said this before in a video. There are the yeah but people, and there are the yeah, you're right, I'm going to do it people, right? And the yeah but people, the people that you say, well, this is what you need to do, and they go, yeah, but, and you know that they are not ready for change. You know that they're not going to do anything. So don't waste your energy on it, And then there's the other people that go, do you know what? You're right. I need to really do this. I need to think about it. I need to prepare myself, and I need to go for it. And they're the people that I like to spend my energy on, the ones that are going to go, do you know what? Yeah, I'm taking that on board. I'm going to work towards that. Now, when you have big life decisions to make in your life, just say, for instance, if you're not happy in your relationship, you're not happy in your job, you're not happy with what's going on around you, some people are given an opportunity from the universe to make that change. So, for instance, say if you're in a job that you can't stand, okay, but you're worried that you're not going to get any money, you're worried you're not going to find another job, you're worried that you might upset the boss because you've got to go and tell him. I remember when I was leaving a job once, and I was so scared of telling the boss. It's like, why? Now I just go and say, I'm not happy, I'm going. However, you know, you think, oh, what's going to happen? What my family going to think? What are they going to, you know, if I'm standing away from this situation, they're going to say, what the hell are you doing? We've got to pay the bills, you know, and that's the time where I say to you, stop, okay? We are a spirit in a human body, and we're here for human experience, okay? I saw something on Facebook that I found really powerful the other day, and I said this to one of my friends earlier. It's a picture of a flower, and it basically says a flower just needs sun and water to grow, okay? And then it shows a picture of a human, and it says, but a human also needs sun and water to grow. It's the emotions, however, that stop it. Okay, so when you find yourself in a situation where you think, I'm not happy, I need to change this, I really need to change this, the way to deal with it is firstly, write out the pros and cons of the scenario you're in. By writing out and do it in black and white, you're stopping all of the monkeys and all of the what ifs and the what buts and what if they say this, what if they do this. You're stopping all of that. You are basically focusing on writing out the pros and cons of this decision process, okay? And ordinarily, if you're not happy, the cons of the situation will totally outweigh the pros. So deep inside, you know that you've got to make this change. You've got to implement something for your own happiness, okay? And then when you have seen that the cons outweigh the pros, then you know you're right, because it's in black and white. It's showing you right in front of your face, look at what's happened, this isn't right. I need to change this, it's not right. So then what you do is you then focus on, what do I need to do? Where do I want to be? And so you think of the destination point of where you want to be. So let's just say you are living in a place, in a flat, and it's really noisy, you've got noisy neighbours, you're really miserable, there's a crappy view, and you know, you don't know if you're going to be able to rent another place, but you know, and then that's it, that's when all the, well, am I going to be able to rent it? What about moving? What about the removal costs? God, I've got to pack everything up. Right, stop that again. Write down the pros and cons of the fact of why you're not happy. Okay, so let's have that scenario. We're in the flat, we hate it, it's got a bit of damp, and landlord's a bit of a wally, blah 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 blah. So you write the pros and cons out. The cons totally outweigh the pros, and you think, I'm right, I need to make change with this. So then what you do is, and this is how I do it. Now I'm just going to quickly digress, because people will say, oh yeah, it's all well and good for you, but do you know what? It is well and good for me, because I've had to face multiple life-changing decisions and make change as I go without any choice at all. I've had to do it. I've had to just grit my teeth and think it's time to go. You'll read a lot about this in my book, me, Myself and I, where I'm faced with such life-changing things that most people would absolutely have a meltdown about. I'm like, right, I need to do this, and I'm going to do it. I'm not looking back. This is where I want to be, and that's how I'm going to go and do it. And I realised through the angel realms, the universe, that the semantics of making change is really difficult, because we create that difficulty. Okay, we create that. We create and project the ego, the fears, the doubts, the worries. We project it all when really nothing's happened yet. We just need to make the change. Okay, and what I've learned over the years, because believe me, I didn't want to change initially, and I used to hate change, but now I embrace it. I see it as this massive adventure of, wow, I'm going into the deep, I'm going into the unknown, but sod it, I know I've got backup, hence the universe, the angel realms, blah blah blah. So going back to this girl in the flat, so she's sitting in the flat, she realises that she's totally unhappy, she hates where she is, she doesn't like it, she knows she's got to make change. She's not got a load of money though, and she doesn't know where she wants to live, she's got absolutely no clue. But what she does is, this lady, our pretend lady, is she sits and thinks, what actually do I want then? If I'm not happy, what do I actually want? And then she starts picturing, God, I would just love a tiny little house, just with nice little hanging baskets. Not, you know, I don't really need a big garden. I just want somewhere where I can meet people, perhaps be near places where I can meet people, because I'm quite lonely, and have no noisy neighbours. I just would really like that. That's when we stop and we create what some people would widely know as cosmic ordering. And so we visualise ourselves in the reality of that place. We visualise ourselves making a cup of tea there. We visualise watering the hanging basket outside that we visualised. We imagine coming out and saying hello to our lovely neighbours. We envisage us getting our jacket on and popping down to the local restaurant or the local cafe. We envisage the reality of it. And again, you will learn this in my book, that I learned cosmic order in such a powerful way. it still makes me feel amazed when I think of it now. And so this lady, we're going to call her Bella. Bella's a nice name. Bella is sitting in her flat thinking, that's where I want to be. So then what she does is she draws a picture of it, or she writes in her journal or a diary, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do. So she then says, I'm going to let the landlord know, I'm going to give him his 3 months, 6 months notice that I'm moving out. And then she actually stands up and triumphantly gets a box and starts placing the first bits of her possessions into a box. And all she can think of is a place she wants to be. That's all she thinks of. And Bella then eventually hears from someone that someone has got a place for rent. And she goes around and finds that this place is a place that she's been looking for. She cannot believe her luck. She also then finds that she's got a bonus at work and that she's got a bit more money, and she finds she can actually afford this. She also goes to that new landlord, explains what sort of tenant she's going to be, and the landlord goes, do you know what, I'm just going to give you a little bit more money off because I know you can look after the place. And then before she knows it, she's sitting in a lovely little 1-bedroom house with the hanging basket near the restaurant, happy as a pig in you know what, lovely neighbours, and everything she visualises come true. That seems like the fairy tale version of events of making a life-altering decision, making change. However, that is how I do it, and that's how it works. And what Bella did is she stopped ego, she stopped emotion, she stopped worry, she stopped worrying about what everybody thought of her decision, she stopped worrying about where the money's going to come from, she stopped worrying how she was going to get her stuff moved there, she stopped worrying about what happens if it's the wrong move, what if I do the wrong decision, what if it turns out horrible. She didn't do any of that, she just went for it. Okay? And she did what the flower does. She just embraced what was there and she went for it. None of the emotions got involved, and she found her space and she found her happiness. Exactly how I've lived my life. So then if we look at the negative Bella, then that negative Bella would still be sitting in that flat with the damp, with the dodgy landlord, with the dodgy neighbours, because she basically was too scared to make that change. She was too scared because she allowed all the available possible nightmares that hadn't even happened. She allowed to externalise all of these feelings to create reality around her, that she couldn't do this. She didn't have enough money. She wasn't going to move. She had no one to help her move. There was no way she was going to find a house like that. She didn't deserve it. So all she deserved was just sitting here being miserable, looking at the damp in the corner and hearing the music banging next door. Can you see the difference of what I'm trying to say to you? There's 2 different scenarios in every decision you have to make for change. It's if you are prepared to trust the universe and trust that you need to be happy. And now we talk about the sense of self. When I was speaking about Bella just a minute ago, looking at the damp space, thinking, well, this is all I deserve. There's no way I'm going to get my dream. There's no way I'm going to be in that lovely 1-bedroom house with a hanging basket. She's basically projecting what she feels about herself and what she's capable of. She has obviously lost self-love. She has lost the ability to think that she deserves the best. And she's lost the ability to feel that she deserves the happiness that she should be having. And this is what so many of us do. We stay stuck in relationships that we don't want to, shake up, but we're so miserable. We don't love them, we don't want to be with them, but we stay there anyway because it's better than the change. Because what's going to happen? Am I going to have to move out? Am I going to have to stay here? Are they going to stop me from going? Where am I going to go? How am I going to survive? Of course you're going to bloody survive. Of course you are. You're just choosing you for the first time in your life. You're choosing your own personal happiness and realising it isn't where you are in this space and time. So you have to change it. If you don't, that's your choice. You're not affecting anybody apart from your own happiness, your own self, and a sense that you haven't fulfilled your life properly. So many people stay stuck in situations, whether it's jobs, relationships, friendships. They stay in these stuck situations knowing they're not happy, but they don't move forward. What is the point of living your life if you're not ready to embrace change? Change should bring about, wow, this is really scary, but it's really exciting, but I'm going to go for it because I know that it's right. Change is all about you embracing the next adventure, embracing something. What is wrong with ending a chapter and starting a new one? What is wrong with that? But most people want to stay in the same stuck, boring story, nothing changing because it's safe, because it's stable, because it's secure, and they're happy with that. No, you're not. You're not happy at all. You're just scared. You're scared of the change. You're scared of what it's going to bring about. You're scared of what people might think of you. You're scared perhaps if you're going to, bring heartbreak to the person that you want to leave, or scared of the boss that's going to say to you, oh, you'll never work in this area again. It's all based on non-fact. It's based on fiction. Everything that you project around this is all fiction, because it hasn't happened yet. You're creating it yourself. You're creating this complete disaster when it hasn't even happened, you know? And so it's all about self-love. I deserve this. I deserve happiness. I've found it. I want to go for it. I'm going to make the change. But then the emotions and the ego kick in. It's all about having a strong sense of self and believing, oh no, I am going to change that, knowing that you are just going for your ultimate happiness. And if you're in that energy that you just want to make yourself happy, you want to make yourself successful, you want to make this move, then you attract nothing but abundance to help that happen. So once you make a decision in life, the rest follows in behind you. And if you've just watched my card reading, I couldn't believe that came up with the 8 of Cups, you know, because it's suddenly all these visions and thoughts and feelings was, this is what this cup is meaning. You know, you are here, you want to be there. Why worry about all the stuff around you? Why worry about it? It's just stuff. It's just stuff. It's materialistic stuff. It doesn't make you happy. It doesn't feed you with love. It doesn't feed you with abundance. It's just familiarity. That's all it is. But do you know what? When you make your change, 3 months, 6 months later, you're back in a familiarity, but you're happy. Does that make sense to you? Because it just seems so weird that the people I've been speaking to this week, and these emails have come in, and you know, I've cut through all the dross of all their worries and who they're going to upset and who they're going to, you know, who's going to get the ump by it and what's going to happen if this happens, what if, and I just went, just stop, just 1 minute, just stop for me. Are you happy with what you are doing now? No. Then you've answered your own question. You need to change it. You need to make a decision. Just bloody boobs out, stomach in, grit your teeth and think, I'm doing it. I'm going for it. This is what I need to do. I need to change my job. I need to tell them I'm not happy here. I need to do this. I need to do that. And then once you've made a decision, I absolutely, categorically assure you that everything will plop in place behind you. You know, when I made my decision to move here, and I was really still poorly. I was in bed. I was totally incapable of making proper decisions. And I don't want to do too many spoilers for the book, but some pretty impressive miracles turned up, and I made the change. And even though I was poorly, even though I couldn't even lift any objects because I was so bad when I was ill, and even though I just couldn't even possibly think of keeping the house nice, to sell it and all the rest of it, I didn't allow any of that to fog my decision. I just thought, this is where I want to be. You lot back me up and just put me where it is. And do you know what? As soon as I made the decision, everything plopped into place. I need this, bang, it was there. I need to do that, bang, it was there. You know, I was completely guided to make a life-altering change, and it's the best thing I ever did. And you know what? How many of you have decided to make a change in your life, and eventually, after years, you think, I'm going to do it, right? So you've had this idea perhaps 6 years ago to change, and then you finally do it 6 years' time. And then when you're there, you think, my God, what was I thinking? I've wasted 6 years here because I'm the happiest I've ever been, and I just don't know why I didn't do this. Okay. And the other thing is as well is that I want to bring in here is that people are scared of endings as well. They're scared of things coming to an end. They're scared of saying goodbye to the familiar. They're scared of saying goodbye to a certain story that they were, you know, part of. And do you know what? Why are you scared of that? Why do you worry about endings? Because endings to me are the most positive thing you could possibly have, because all they're going to do is open you up to your next adventure. Some of them will be forced on you. Some of you will face endings. Perhaps someone leaves you, or perhaps you've been made redundant, or perhaps, you know, you've lost your house. I don't know what it is. And you're forced by these changes. You're forced by an ending. And it is exceptionally difficult. It is very difficult to deal with unexpected change, unexpected endings. However, rather than dwell in the fact of the shit that you've been in and the shit that you're in and how you're going to get out of it, just think, you know what? This is an ending. This has happened. Nostalgia is such a powerful powerful force when we are faced with change, because we then get the rose tinted glasses. You know, perhaps if you've had a divorce and then you think back and you feel lonely and think back of your husband, all you'll think about is all the lovely things about him. You won't think about the fact he's a total arsehole and you're glad you divorced him. Do you know what I mean? So we all look back and we go, oh no, it was so lovely. No, it wasn't, because otherwise the universe wouldn't have put you in this different position. You obviously did not want to make the change, so they're thinking, do you know what, this needs to come to an end because it's rubbish, let's force it on her, you know. And so then they give you this ending and you're sitting there holding on to this ending for your dearest life. You know, your hands are bleeding, your flesh is ripped off, grabbing onto it. I don't want this to end, I can't, I don't want to do this, I don't want to change, I don't want my world to change, I don't like change, I don't like different stuff, I don't like it. And you're hanging on, and all you're doing is putting yourself in this massive ball of stress and anxiety and crap and fear and worry, all the negative parts of the ego that create us, the story that creates our soul path. And you're hanging on to something that's ended. Accept the ending, because as soon as you do, as soon as you let go, the new door of opportunity will be there for you to walk through. And yes, some of you will fear walking through that door because you have got no clue what is on the other side of that door. You have absolutely no clue. But for me, I embrace that. For me, I think, do you know what? I don't know what's there, but I'm bloody doing it because I trust that it's going to be amazing. And as I say, all endings bring sadness, heartbreak. All endings do. And I'm not talking about perhaps, you know, someone that's passed over. That's a completely different kettle of fish. We're talking about scenarios in life where endings are forced upon us and we need to, like, just literally dust ourselves down and see what we can make of it, rather than hang on to it and feel sorry for ourselves and allow all this pity to come around us and allow us to think, oh my God, this end has taken place. It's done. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. It's part of your chapter that's ended. It's part of your book of life. That chapter is done. When you read a book, you don't get to the end of a chapter and think, oh my God, hang on a minute, I can't do the next one because I don't know what's coming. I need to read back. I need to hang on to this chapter. You just accept that that chapter's ended and you start the new one. And then you get even more good stuff happen because the wonderful writer that's created this story has created even more excitement, you know. You've got to look at the new chapter as excitement, as something that's giving you challenge. It's reboosting your energy. Obviously, whatever you were in was stale. It wasn't working. You were surviving. You weren't thriving. You were existing. You weren't living. Have a think about that. Have a think about it. If there's anything you're not happy with in your life, and then think about how you feel around changing it. Think about walking through that door, all the new opportunities, new people you can meet, the new experiences that you can do. It can be the most smallest little change. It could be you just want to go on a diet. I want to change my body style. I'm going to go start the gym. Whatever it is, it could be the most minimal change. Or it could be the most life-altering, life-sapping, most fearful thing you've ever done in your life. But if you just forge on through that fear and you don't allow the ego to overwhelm you and you think, right, well, that's ended, sod it. This is what I need to do now. I need to go there because otherwise, what do? Stay my self-pity, get depressed and end up on antidepressants and just want to die because I don't know what to do. No, I'm actually going to stand up here and I'm going to forge forward. I'm going to have my friends with me. I'm going to have my family supporting me. The people that love me are here. I'm going to do it. And if they don't respect the fact that I'm making this change or I'm reacting to this change, then tough shit, because it's my life. I'm leading it. I'm not happy. Can you see what I mean? So don't allow people to influence you. Allow them to support you. Allow them to give you advice. Allow them to give you options. But nobody should tell you how to lead or live your life. That is entirely up to you. If they have got a vested interest in your happiness, by all means, take on board everything they've got to say. Look at the options and again, write it out. That's what I do. I write like a demon when I've got things that I know I need to change. And sometimes most of the things we do need to change or decisions we need to make are hard. And this is something I was told years and years ago when I was doing my counselling courses, is that when you have got a decision to make, it's always the hardest one that is normally the right decision. We tend to like the easy option. We tend to like the wrong option. We tend to think, thank God for that. I don't have to do that now. I'll just stay here and I'll just hide and hope nobody notices the fact that I haven't made this change, because it's so much easier to stay here because I know everything here. I don't want to go and do that because that's really different and really scary and I don't know what's going to happen. You know, the hardest ones are always the right path, and it's having the courage and the strength to move forward, just gripping your teeth, gritting your teeth, getting those fists and going, I can do this, I can do this, I can absolutely do this, 100% I can do this. And trusting that when you take the leap of faith off of that cliff, as soon as you do, as soon as that foot goes down, the path will show itself. You know, it reminds me of, do you know that, I'm terrible, I love Indiana Jones, but do you know when and it's like a step of faith or something, and he has to do clues to get to, I think it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, and so he has to step into a massive abyss, and then as he steps, the path enlightens and it shows itself, and then he can see the path. That is exactly what I'm trying to say to you. You know, taking that unexpected leap of faith or the expected leap of faith and thinking, sod it, I'm not happy, I need to change this, and doing it. And I'm telling you, you take that first step and that path will be there and it will show you the way forward. Trust the universe. You don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to believe in fairies, angels, gods, bloody Jehovah, whatever it is. You don't have to have any belief systems at all. You've just got to know that there's courage in your heart to change and that it will be okay. That's all you've got to do. And yes, of course, you're going to get emotions about it. Change always brings about emotions, but know that it's transient. This, for instance, this is another way of doing it, right? If you look at perhaps, I don't know, someone you broke up with years ago that broke your heart, right? At the time, it tore you to pieces, didn't it? You were crying, you were seeing couples walking along happy thinking, I hate you because he's just left me. And, you know, you just feel that knot in your heart and it's just absolutely horrific. And then what, 6 months later, a year later, you look back, you think, what was I even thinking? I was in that relationship and there was all the red flags that he was a complete dick. And yeah, I still stayed in it. And I'm like looking back at myself with my heart ripping and me crying my eyes out and watching sad videos and putting really sad music on to make me feel even worse. And now I think, what a dick. What was I doing? It was just rubbish. We heal. That's what I'm trying to say to you. We heal. We move on and we heal. Okay, so anything that you're going through, this change will be tough. It will be. It will bring about emotions of nostalgia, of have I done the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? My God, what is coming? Have I, you know, is it going to carry on being brilliant? Am I going to have that house? Am I going to have that new job? Whatever it is that you're having to change, yeah, it's going to be raw. It's going to be hard. But then once you've done the change and you look back 6 months, a year later and look back and think, my God, I can't believe I went through that. But it was the best thing I ever did in my life, because look at where I am now. And then you just embrace with affirmations. Thank you for where I am. I'm so grateful where I am. Look at where I am. I've got the best life. And this is what I've just done, funnily enough. I've just stood by the sea and thanked the universe, thanked the angel realms, thank you for everybody that looks after me. Because I stood there and thought, I'm here. This is what I always wanted. This is what I always strive for. I'm here. I'm abundant. I've got everything I could possibly want. Beautiful friends, supportive family, health. And I'm not on the street, you know. I've got my beautiful babies. I live in a beautiful home. I've got the most wonderful friends. I've got the most wonderful life. I've got such wonderful talent. What such a wonderful ability, unique gift that I can help people. And that isn't me blowing my own trumpet. That's me expressing my self-love, my self-belief in the fact, no matter what comes up in my life, no matter how emotionally unstable I get, no matter how vulnerable I feel, I know eventually that I will come to this stage where I think, it's done, time to change. And I think, yeah, you're right. And then I don't allow any more procrastination. I don't allow any of these stupid feelings to come in. I've made a decision. It's done. I move forward. And that's all I can say to you about this subject. And I'm going to send this to a couple of my friends. Oh no, perhaps they'll just watch it. Because I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to do a video about this because it's been so weird. So many people have been faced with change at the moment. So it could be the Pisces full moon tomorrow. I don't know. But all I'm going to say to you is, please do the pros and cons list. Write a lot. Put it all in black and white so that all those monkeys and demons don't overwhelm your decision. And if you're not happy, please, for the love of God, make the change. There is a reason you're not happy, okay? And it could be obvious or it's not obvious. But all you should care about is your own happiness and how you feel, because everything else is totally irrelevant. Other people, stuff, houses, cars, jobs, whatever it is. I know that we need money in this world because we're in a material world, but I'm trying to tell you that no matter what you do, you will always be looked after. Trust me in this. Whether it be friends help you, family help you, get a new job, pay rise, whatever it is, or you've got a budget for a little while. So what if you've got to just have a bit of hardness of pulling your pennies in? You know, the abundance will come back by trusting that process and trusting yourself and loving yourself enough to know that you need to change because you're not happy. That's what you need to aim for in life, because all the rest is just stuff. Make the decision, be bold, trust the process, and believe me, when you do it and you look back, you will be so proud of yourself and know that it was the best thing you ever did, because you've opened yourself to a whole world of opportunity. Anyway, I think I've done as much as I can to try and tell you about change. Don't fear it, embrace it, go for it, change your life. And with that, I'm going to love you and leave you. I may do one abroad, I don't know. But if not, hopefully you'll see a nice tanned, happy girl on her return back from a holiday to give you and impart with you more advice on all of the wonderful obstacles that seem to throw themselves in our way on this human lifetime. Take care of everybody, take care of yourself, but most of all, love yourself and only make change and decisions, and any life path obstacles that come your way, make them for you. Put you first for a change. I know it's hard, but what else have you got? Take care, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye now.